We're in Punta then for race number 6. Revo on pole from Oscar Folstad and Jack Carter. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo looking for his first points of the season. Daf Sanchez and Tommy. UK will start 7th from Akari Lopez and Bastian Tan down in 9th. Then it's P. Sierra, David Cameron, and the other Nissan Nismo car of Santino Milan. Fabulous Jr. starts 13th from Jonathan Sims and Enoch Curie. Then it's CC in 16th, Leo in 17th, Cosmos in 18th, T. Gabo in 19th, Lewis Olsen starts 20th, and it's Daniel Bottasar and Miguel de Souza. Well then, after this race we would have gone through a third of this season. All 5 lights go on. And the Punta, the last day Prix is green, and that's a relatively good start from Oscar Folstad off the line. He's not got the jump on Revo just yet. He's alongside him as they ride through turn 1. Oscar Folstad takes the lead as out of the race goes David Camino, whose teammate won last time out. Looks like a little bump was given to Leo there. Bastian Tan with a 5-second time penalty, dropping to 10th behind P. Sierra, it seems. Ocampo has found his way from 4th to 3rd. Carter has dropped to position. Sanchez has dropped to position 2. But on that opening lap, Folstad's done exactly what he's needed to do. Up into the race lead, he's found himself. He's been very disappointed with the first 5 races of the season. He doesn't feel as if he's in championship contention, and he wants to prove himself a lot more as we now go back racing. And what other way to prove that you are worth keeping around, that you are a worthy driver, than to take the lead right under the championship leader and the double world drivers championship, to take it right under his nose. I was going to say to take it from the double world championship winner's nose, but it just felt a little clunky. So onto the second lap of the E3 we go, on board with Revo rising the hill. Then it's a massive hill climb, only matched by Santiago very deep into turn 1 for Folstad. Almost looked like he was gonna hit a wall, looking with Cosmos. And yeah, I think it might have been colder tires into the wall there. That's Leo. He's gone off into the barriers all on himself. That could have happened to Oscar Folstad. Luckily for him, it hasn't, but now Revo gaining on him with attack mode into turn 4. They're in Punta up into the lead. Goes the reigning World Drivers Champion. He adorns the number 1 for a reason. Revo leads the Punta E-Prix, and he sets a fastest second sector to go with it. In Uruguay, championships, well, they haven't been won or lost, but some interesting occurrences have happened here, especially if you consider last season. This man Revo lost, didn't even finish, and still managed to win the title. So on to lap 3 of 17 we go. Jack Carter setting a fastest 3rd sector as he chases after Sebastian Ocampo to try and take back that 3rd position. Bastian Tan went a little bit airborne coming through that first turn. You've seen cars doing that a lot, riding over the curbs. Folstad with the fastest first sector of anyone, very deep into that first turn, went both versions. Leo has come to the pits. Folstad with attack mode, then he's gaining, he's looking to the inside, and Oscar Folstad retakes the lead of the Punta del Este E3. And that's the brilliant nature of a track this short. Yes, it's not the shortest track on the calendar. Monte Carlo is way shorter, but the difference between Punta del Este and Monte Carlo is that this track is fast. It's got 3 attack mode activation points back to back to back. And here comes Revo leading into the first of those 3. He's not quite close enough to make the move. He's having to defend from Sebastian Ocampo behind. They've all got attack mode apart from Folstad as they begin the 4th lap of the E3. The car number 4 is leading this race. Lot of airborne nuts, and out of the race has gone car number 4. Oscar Folstad is out of the E3. Oh dear! I think he just missed his braking point there. He must have misjudged it, having to defend from all those cars behind him. But it's another missed opportunity for Oscar Folstad. Yes, he is in his sophomore season, and he's probably still coming to grips with how the Formula E Monoposto car handles. But considering that next season is a full reset, new cars, in the literal sense, you will see a new car model next season, hopefully. If not, then I'm sorry, I have failed you. But on board with the Not QE, there's white-walled hard tyres, also adorned by Annette Babineau Jr., currently in 10th position. And he has already won his first race, has Babineau Jr. Round 3 of this season, he won at Ocampo, closing in on Revo. The top two drivers, both former champions, into the wall. Goes the season 14 champion, hit by the 15 champion at Kari. Hits countryman Sebastian Ocampo. And the Andretti man has lost half of his front wing down at turn 1. Yellow flags were out there, and we've got more yellows for Lewis Olsen, the number 20 driver for Dragon Renault. Hit the wall and hit it hard. He's lost part of his front wing as well. That's 2 drivers having to come to terms with that opening turn with brute force. It's so hard to come to terms with, and that's put Jack Carter up into 2nd position. Carter finds himself in 2nd. We're going to go on board with Revo. His tyre percentage is 58%. He might want to come in soon, but he's decided to stay out. His teammate also staying out. So Revo will lead lap number 6 here in Punta del Este. He's gone very wide there. He keeps it on the track. How has he managed to do that? Akari comes into pit lane, and that's a scheduled stop for him. Down the inside goes Bastien Tan, and that was a side swipe for Bastien. UK's been given a 5-second time penalty, but I'm not too sure where the stewards were expecting the Brit to go. As very deep goes T. Gabbo, hits so close to the wall, especially when your tyres are getting so much more worn. Jonathan Sims has just come out of the pits, and I do expect this man Revo to come into the pits and switch on to the medium tyres. It's likely going to be a 2-stopper around here, which will play into the hands of Babineau Jr. and an QE. But with 11 laps to go, it will quickly become 10 laps to the checkered flag. Revo currently leads. And does he stay out? He's staying out there with his teammate. The top 3 are all staying out to start 10 to the checkered. Deep goes Revo, but he keeps it out of the wall. Same for Jack Carter. Lucky them, I guess. It's all about really how much downforce does your car have. And you can see if you get a lot of air underneath that car, you're going to struggle a lot coming through that first turn. Bastien Tan is coming to the pits to change his tyres. T. Gabriel has not, because his teammate's in, and the guys down at Virgin Renault do not want to try and double stack when they don't have to. And this seems to be one of those examples where they really don't have to double stack. But the top 2 guys, Revo from Jack Carter and Tommy. Tommy is having a brilliant season if we can go to the DS Venturi man. Last few seasons with Next TV Neo for Tommy haven't been brilliant. The Hong Kong novice to the championship, he's had his moments. He has won races before being part of the Venturi operation. Revo pits alongside Tommy, so Jack Carter leads the E3. But joining Venturi has allowed Tommy to actually prove to the world how good of a driver he is. Cosmos has been given a 5-second time penalty, and I almost saw there is that a puncture for Babineau Jr.? I was going to mention, yes, and Babineau Jr. has got a puncture. I was going to mention Jack Carter going very deep through turn 1, but there's no point in that, because Babineau Jr. in the number 14 into the wall has gone Akari. Out of the race has gone him and Tommy. Both drivers out, and T. Gabbo involved in that too. Must have been an airborne collision. But for Venturi, this is a time of horrors. Because one of their drivers has gone out, the other one has had a puncture. Out of the pits comes Babineau Jr. on lap 8. Where was Jack Carter? He's coming down into turns 10 and 11. So we go back racing. Carter's not going to be able to benefit from this at all. And then QE now finds himself in a weird situation. Into the pits comes race leader Jack Carter. Revo, you would think, would assume the race lead, as Milan stays out with Miguel de Souza and Enoch Kiwi, so Santino Milan holds the race lead from Miguel de Souza. The Brazilian number 79, the driver very deep. Of course, you lose a lot of downforce as when following the dirty air of the car ahead. Similar story for Remo, but on lesser scale, very deep for Sebastian Ocampo. You saw he was doing it on two wheels there. Bastian Tan trying to get past Jack Carter, who's just come out of the pits, and that's a very slow moving Remo there. And as he hit tire problems too, the championship leader, the reigning champion Remo, he's got a puncture. Remo's got a puncture. I can't believe it. Italian hearts sink. As for the second season in a row, the reigning World Drivers' Champion Remo has hit problems here in Uruguay. This time, we hope he'll finish the race, but it's not going to be a brilliant finish. He came into the pits 2 laps ago. They were banging on the rear tyre, probably to say this tyre's punctured, but they couldn't get the tire. They couldn't get the second set of tyres out in time. So now Remo, he's dropped to 15th position. Enoch Kiwi leads the C3 from Sebastian Ocampo and Jack Carter, who sends one down the inside on the season 14 champion. Forced very wide there was the season 14 champion. Drops to 4th. He does. T. Gabo comes into pit lane. Bastian Tan on board with him then, trying to close in on Jack Carter. But look at the acceleration out of turn 3 he's gotten. It's going to take a lot for Bastian to close up. He has closed up quite a bit, but he's not close enough in the braking point. Revo's coming in for his second stop. He's coming out on soft tyres. He should be able to go to the end with those softs. I doubt he'll be safe with those softs to the end, but he'll be able to do softs to the end. So it's Enoch Kiwi who's leading the C3 for Aurelio Mahindra Motorsport. From Jack Carter and T. Gabo into the pits comes Enoch Kiwi. I was gonna say that his strategy was working quite well, and I think he's gonna remain in the top 10. Aurelio Mahindra may see 2 drivers finish in the top 10 with 6 laps left to run. Into the wall is gone Bastian Tan. He's lost part of his front wing. Dav Sanchez following Lewis Olsen ahead of him. Olsen has to get out of the way. He's a laps car here. So, oh, that's contact there for P. Sierra, trying to get through Lewis Olsen, man. But that's going to allow him to get himself up into P4. 4th position for the Nissan Nismo driver, who made his debut at the first round of the championship, but now her fellow first round debutant New Cable gets past Dav Sanchez, who made his debut in season 3, also getting past as him. And you just take a look at the grid and you realize, compare this to season 1, there are barely any names who are still there. No driver is still with the team that they were in back in their first appearance, if they were pre-season 10. As you can see further ahead, that's P. Sierra trying to, he's having a battle with Cici. Bastian Tan comes into pit lane then to change that front wing. On board with Sebastian Ocampo coming through 1. And you can see it is very hard to keep that car, this Gen 1 FEMC car, bolted to the ground. Yes, we've used the Gen 1 for 18 seasons at this point. Hopefully we can get that Gen 2 up and running, but I'm not too sure if we will. Bogdasarov going in. He's damn deep there. Remo came out of the pits in 17th. He's last of those on the lead lap. And he started this race from pole position. That's something I can't say I'm envious of. On board with Chichi then, as camera quality declines. Fastest second sector for you, Cable. 25 second sector time. That's pretty damn rapid at the head of this pack. Finding over second. There goes switch for position between the 2 Andretti Hondas. Will it? Not quite yet. 4 laps left to go in this E3, with Jack Carter leading the way to try and close into his own teammate's gap in the fight for the World Drivers' Championship. As you can see, that's very deep for Sanchez, almost hitting the wall. He's got attack mode, but there was a loss of weaving. There's going to be tyre problems, and someone's hit the wall, and he's hit it hard, spinning for Inoculi and Lewis Olsen. As Bastian Tan now coming to the scene of the incident, Leo coming into pit lane then, on board with Babinus Jr. And into the wall goes Babinus Jr. He's had a massive tank slapper coming through turn 1. Track's been cleared, but you can see tyre wear now becoming a big problem for some drivers. Babinus Jr. has lost part of his front wing. We're looking now back to the man who currently leads this race. The second ever Danish driver to win a race in the FEMC. The first was season 9 champion Marcus Nelson, rising through turn 1 on lap 14 out of 17. He's only got 3 more laps of this 2.3 mile circuit to run, as Sanchez looking to try and get past his own teammate. This might not end well, but looking back, that's not even Sanchez. Yeah, Sanchez has gone himself ahead of Sebastian Ocampo. I was looking back, and it was this man, Miguel de Souza, sending one down the inside. 4th position for the rookie, for Faraday Future Dragon Racing Renault. That is their full official team. Don't quote me on that. Babinus Jr. comes in for his second and final pit stop with 3 to the checkered flag. Let's take a look at Rebo on board with the reigning champion. 66% tyre wear. Again, that will make it to the end, but it's not. But it's going to be very, very close. He's going to need a few virtual safety cars so then he can nurse his tyres a lot better. He's still at the back of the pack though. He's 43 seconds away from the race lead. A race lead which was his, not anymore. Jack Carter, however, he's got that race lead. He's 10 seconds ahead of U-Cable on the road. Ocampo's coming to pit lane, looking with U-Cable rising the hill, close to the wall. Or for all the drivers coming through one, very close to the other wall for Santino Milan. Cosmos and Inoculi holding a Mahindra 7.8. Could be a lot worse than a 7.8, to be honest with you. It could be a double DNF. But luckily for us, no team is out of drivers currently running in this race. The Dios Automobiles, they're going to have to look into why their tyre punctured, and especially down at Tyre Wolf. They're going to have to figure out why have 2 of our tyres punctured in the same race. This is unusual activity, to say the least, from the tyres being supplied by our tyre manufacturer on board. But Babinus Jr. got a little bit of air underneath his Venturi. Onto the penultimate lap of the E3 we go. Jack Carter of Denmark, he leads the E3 for Miguel de Souza and Santino Milan. Sanchez and U-Cable both came into the pits at their second and hopefully final pit stop. Very close to the wall. That's probably what we're going to see a lot more come race's end. Drivers pushing the limits to how close they can get to the grass and gravel trap. Both of them on the outside of turn number 1. And Ocampo's come out of the pits ahead of his own teammate. Sebastian Ocampo currently 7th. That's going to be a net P2, we believe, because the top guys still to make their last stop. Rebo's come in to make his 3rd pit stop. It is effectively no points for the Italian unless 5 other drivers retire from this race. There are grey clouds forming over this part of Uruguay. The last thing that drivers want at this point with a hectic race like this is rain. But Jack Carter's had none of that hecticness since his teammate has retired from this race. Carter currently leading this race from Miguel de Souza and Santino Milan. It's going to be an odd 2-3. But for the man who currently leads this race, it's nothing odd about it. Close to the wall are the guys in those positions. ZC trying to come home with a show-stopping 4th for Sims Motorsport. On board with Sebastian Ocampo, who's just set a new fastest lap. The floodlights are on. Lewis Olsen's coming to pit lane. Are those inters going on for the Dragon Racing driver? Yes, they are. It's raining on this final lap. But for Jack Carter, I don't know if he cares about any of that rain. The only thing that could rain on this parade was his own teammate, and the tyres took care of him. So coming through the final 2 turns, Denmark sees another race win. It's going to be a formation finish for DS Automobiles. It's going to be a 1:17 for DS Automobiles, however. Jack Carter wins the Punta del Este Prix, and he laps his teammate at the line. Miguel de Souza of Brazil comes home with a P2. Santino Milan of Argentina finishes in third. CC for Sims Motorsport Nissan comes home with fourth, and not QE is fifth. Bastian Tan resets the fastest lap with a 1:01.199. He finishes in sixth. Sebastian Ocampo and his teammate up next. Then it's U-Cable finishing ninth with a new fastest lap of 59.250. P. Sierra is 10th, Cosmos 11th, and Jonathan Sims 12th, Leo 13th. Daniel Bogdasarov is 14th ahead of Arnett Babinus Jr. unless he can make a last-minute overtake here. On board with Babinus Jr., he's not close enough to make any moves. T. Gabo is 16th. Then it's Lewis Olsen, also a lap down. And for Revo, this is going to have to go down in history as one of his worst races. You can see T. Gabo come across the line, and Sebastian Ocampo has scored points! Points for Ocampo! And this is the podium then. Jack Carter eats into his own teammate's gap, and he wins the Punta del Este Prix here in Uruguay. From Miguel de Souza, the Dragon Renault, and Santino Milan, the Nissan Nismo. Then it's Shishi in fourth, and Okyui, Sebastian Ocampo, Bastian Tan, and Daf Sanchez. U-Cable in 9th, and P. Sierra is 10th, running out your point scorers. In 11th is Jonathan Sims with Leo behind him. Then it's Cosmos, Daniel Bogdasarov, Arnett Babinus Jr., T. Gabo, Revo, and Lewis Olsen. The non-finishers were Tommy Akari Lopez, Oscar Bolstad, and David Camino. In the driver's standings, Revo still leads the way on 81 points, but his teammates gotten a lot closer. Jack Carter is currently second, and it's Sebastian Tan, Daf Sanchez, U-Cable, Oscar Bolstad, and Arnett Babinus Jr. Santino Milan is 8th from Tommy and Miguel de Souza. Then it's David Camino, Shishi, P. Sierra, Akari Lopez, and Anok Yui. Jonathan Sims is 16th. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo, Cosmos, and Daniel Bogdasarov. With T. Gabo, Lewis Olsen, and Leo still yet to score. In the constructors' standings, heading into the next round of the championship, DS Automobiles leads the way from DS McLaren TGR and DS Venturi Formula E team. Then it's Braun Honda GP, Andretti Honda, the top 5. Then it's Nissan Nismo, Sims Motorsport Nissan, Dragon Renault, Aurelio Mahindra, Aurelio Pinnacle. Imagine being beat by a customer team. Could never in a million years be either Honda, DS Automobiles, or even Nissan. And Virgin Renault are 11th on 1 point, also being beat out by a customer team. We'll see you guys next time then for round 7 of season 18 of the Formula E Monoposto Championship.